Hello, everybody. How are y'all this fine morning? I'm starting to feel a little bit better. I've still got my cold, and I'll be coughing some, and it sounds awful, so I'll try to mute it when that happens. Y'all know y'all don't want to hear that. I got a follow up to a video I did, I don't know, a week or so ago, where a mother was living with a offender, and that one got heated. So this is a follow up to it. I have not watched it. It's in Michael Page's courtroom. I'm hoping it's I don't know. Hopefully it's good and we enjoy it. After that, I've got another video I found where there's a really bad guy at the beginning of it. Really bad guy. Miss Rose pointed out the repeat video for me. Thanks again, Rose. You're the best. Let's get to watching. Y'all recognize the father, Ethan Stoven?
All right, we'll go on the record. This is file 2020-57030, Kara Ingersoll and Ethan Stroven. Ms. Ingersoll is here in court with her attorney, Mr. Mason. Mr. Stroven is on Zoom with his attorney, Mr. Ayers. Today's date and time set for a hearing. The matter had been set back in December for a hearing regarding show cause and custody. Detailed recommendation and order was entered after that hearing. And among various things, the matter was set for two things today, three kind of. One being the determination of child support in light of new custody order. The second was attorney fees, as had been requested by Mr. Ayers. And then there was a jail sentence as a result of a contempt that was to commence today. After some discussion with counsel, it's, I think, been determined that the plaintiff would be allowed to do weekends and that would actually start next week.
Yes.
Instead of today. So I guess since that's agreed to, I think at this point, Mr. Ayers, your client's not opposed to Ms. Ingersoll doing weekends as opposed to a straight 30 days and starting that next weekend?
No, he's fine with that.
All right, Mr. Mason, your client would like to take advantage of that?
Is that correct? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a cost.
Right. And so I don't have a problem modifying the order to indicate that. And I don't know how the weekends go at the jail, if they go Friday to Sunday or Friday to Monday, 3 days credit, 4 days credit, how that works, but whatever the policy is on that is fine. Second issue then, I guess, being child support. Ms. Hummel, I had Ms. Hummel here from friend of the court. She didn't have a lot of time to prepare for this. I don't think that friend of the court was aware that that provision was in there, that this has been set for determination of support today. But Ms. Hummel, were you able to gain some information from your online sources about the parties' incomes?
Yes, I have listed for the second quarter of 2022, both parties had full income. And that's the income that we used, $4,041.60 a month for, I believe it's the plaintiff, and then $2,925.84 for the defendant. The information that we had on the defendant was that he's possibly off on workman's comp, but we used the wage from the 2022. That's the last reported to the state of Michigan. And I believe the plaintiff is no longer at Magna, but that's the last quarterly information that we have on her. We also have listed that she has another child. I do not have any information as to whether the defendant has another child or not. I put in at 0 overnights, and it comes out to $537 child support, $20 medical support a month, for a total of $557 a month.
All right, and I guess, Mr. Mason, your client, the income used was a prior income. Does she have current income?
Yeah, she does a new job working for some, I don't know what the current income is.
And you know, Jerry?
It's based on how many hours they need me, 20, 30 hours a week, backcountry heating and cooling,
Back country?
yes.
What's the hourly?
I'm not sure the hourly rate, they just pay me based on what I do, they're actually out in the room, out in
Well,
this
what
room.
are they paying you a week about?
I made about $60 in 4 hours last week, so that's,
That's
You
15
need to
an
get
hour.
another job.
Is that a normal or
yeah.
just to get a know?
Well, I just had to do data for their past tax stuff. I just had to do some, I was adding numbers and putting them in a computer for about 4 hours. They paid me $60. And then I answer phones as they need me to. It's only been about 2 weeks, so we're still kind of figuring it out
What
with.
happened to the job at Magna?
I actually had to quit that job because I didn't have another source of big money, so I had to get my 401k, and I was planning on going back after this court hearing to proceed there.
So are you gonna work at Magna or the heating and cooling going forward?
I was gonna stick with the heating and cooling until the court process was over because I didn't want to miss a lot of work at Magna because the point system is really strict. So they told me just to get a hold of them after the 20th, and I could have my job back, starting on first shift, starting at what I was making, the same,
Good.
everything.
So you're gonna start back there next week.
I can call Tuesday. They, the lady that does hiring told me to call on Tuesday after my court hearing.
So the $4,041 a month is accurate.
Yes,
Okay, all right. And then,
That's good.
Mr. Ayers, your client's income was used as a prior wage as well, is that correct, or is he still working?
He's not working. He's been on workman's comp, and that just ended. His comp ended on the 7th of January. He's not going back to work at the same job because that's where he got hurt pretty seriously with his back. So in the meantime, from now going back to the 7th, that he's been approved to return to start working again from his doctor. He's been looking for employment.
All right. The prior wage, though, is a fair wage to use, the $29.85 a month?
I mean, right now he doesn't have a new job, so I don't know. You know,
I don't know how it is where y'all are, but every fast food joint I go into, they're offering starting around $15 an hour. Some of the nicer convenience stores are about the same, which that's kind of dangerous stuff there. But it's there's plenty of jobs out there.
kind of depends on the labor market and what he can find, I guess would be my position.
I mean, that's like $17 an hour.
Is that about what you were making there, Ethan?
You can't hear you, sir.
Sounds like they got a bad
Can't hear what you
connection.
said.
Can you try to say something, Ethan? Can you hear us?
Strange.
One second. Let me call him to make sure that he can hear what we're saying. 1 second.
But the audio's not. That's normally the other way around. I always worry people try to underreport their income so that they can cheat the system on the child support they pay. It sounds like the mother's being pretty honest about it. Hope the father does too. You know, what's right's right. Just do what's right and you don't have to worry. I don't know about y'all, but the middle of the nights when all this stuff comes in my mind, if I do something that wasn't exactly right, I'll lay awake at night worrying about it. It isn't worth it. Do the right thing. with advice. No, everybody sounds that way. It's contagious. At least it sounds funny. Come on. I jump ahead, but I'll miss something, I guarantee.
Okay, I'm sorry for the hiccup. Yeah, they're having some. Yep. I think we have it figured out now. Can you hear us, Ethan?
I haven't muted, but I can still.
1 second.
Last video I did on this, I was bothered way the father's a bit of a celebration that the bad things happening to the mother and her offender boyfriend or fiance. I always worry that they're gonna talk to the kids and try to tell them it just ain't good for the kids. I guess that's a simpler way to put it. All that animosity, it is not good for the child. They're gonna sense it, they're gonna feel it, and it's not good for them. That's what bothers me. Y'all may disagree, and I'm sure you do. And if you do, let me know. But just be respectful, please. I wish I'd have watched it before now. I'd have cut this out.
So they can hear now.
All right, well, I don't remember my question now. I guess it's been recommended that Mr. Strovin's income be based on his prior income of $2,900 plus a month. Is there any reason that's not a reasonable income to use for Mr. Stroven?
Is that about how much you were making at your last job, Ethan?
Oh yeah, 17 something an hour.
How much?
29.25 is what they said.
That's a month before taxes are taken out.
Before taxes were taken out.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, I would say for the time being, like I said, he's currently looking for work.
All right, but he's able to work at this point. The injuries have been healed and he's able to work?
Yes,
All right, but he's not going back to where he was.
he's not going back to where he was.
All right. And then the overnights, at this point, Ms. Humley, did you use 0?
I used 0.
All right. And I guess, ma'am, at your employer at Magna, do you have access to health insurance that would cover the child or not?
Yes,
Okay. What's that cost you?
it's not that much. It's like $27 a week.
Okay. So about a little over 100 a month.
And so
Is that Ms. Humley?
27.
27 a week? That
Is that
covers the
what you
child
stated?
and, who else does that cover?
It-
27?
It covers me and my oldest daughter, and then Alana's always had Medicaid.
Oh,
So I added her on my what's it called, the New Year's thing, and then I quit. So she wasn't added yet, but
she'll be going back on.
yes,
So is it just the 3 of you then, the 2 children and you?
yes.
Okay. So it covers the plaintiff, the child on this case, and then a child that is not on this case. Ms. Owen.
Does Ethan have any other children under the age of 18 that are biologically his?
No, he does not.
So with that, it gives a credit of $19. So it would be 508 child support, 19 medical support for a total of $527 a month.
All right. Any objections? Bill?
If it's based on accurate data, no.
All right. Mr. Ayers, any objection to that amount?
No,
All right. That amount be adopted, then I'll make it effective, I think the order say first of the year. I think I didn't put a date in the order because I anticipated the 30 days, but since that's gonna be done on weekends, I'll assume you'll be working during the week. So that'll be effective, I'll make it effective January 1st. Then there's the issue of attorney fees. Mr. Mason, do you have a chance to review the?
Yeah, I've looked at
Counting of
there's 4 pages. Are these meant to be cumulative, or is this like, I don't know if they're duplicative summaries? I mean,
the,
the hourly rates don't seem bad.
what they did is, she had prepared 2 separate ones, one for me and Mr. Stevens. He originally was on this case for this issue, for this hearing. And then I took it over approximately about the end of October. So of the pages there, the combined billing for me and Mr. Stevens would be on the second page of billing, which would come out to the 2976.75.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was that plus, you know what I mean? That's what.
Yep.
all 3 together, yeah. So
That's what we were kind of wondering, and I didn't want to actually read everything and match dates, and
Gotcha.
All right, any objection to that?
It seems, I mean, I don't like that it's being paid, but if that's part of the order, that the amount seems reasonable based on what's been done in this case. So no.
I did go back prior to the last hearing and I reviewed it since, and yeah, this motion originated almost a year ago.
Yeah, I think it was last March.
There have been numerous hearings and numerous pleadings involved in the process, and yeah, it does not appear to be unreasonable. All right, that amount will be adopted then. I guess since the process took about 10 months to get to this point, Mr. Ayers, would you be opposed to me giving Ms. Ingersoll a year to pay it on some sort of schedule?
That would be okay.
All right.
I did just contact the jail in regards to the overnights, or excuse me, to the weekends, and Friday to Sunday, going in Friday, coming out Sunday is 3 nights. And I will have it clarified with them as to sending them an updated order on that.
No, Friday evening to Sunday. That's 3 days.
All right, so the attorney fees would be adopted $2,976.75, repaid at $250. All right, is there anything further for today?
No,
No.
thank you.
All right, we should be all set then.
Okay.
I'll do that order, get them mailed.
Okay, but she's got to go to the jail. Is it 6 o'clock Friday? Is that, or is that open?
So is there a time they expect a weekend?
Whenever she gets out of work to get there, I would assume by 5 or 6.
That'd be next week.
Yeah, 27th, I believe it is.
All right, we're all set for today.
All right, thank you.
If it was me, I'd contact the jail myself and discuss it with them just to be sure. So she goes in Friday evening, comes out Sunday evening, and they're saying that's 3 evenings. It sounds like 2 days to me, but if that's the way they do it. She got 30 days for.
All right,
but
I'll
another-
go on the record. This is file
Oh, you're right.
2025-7.
What can you do? This next one's sort of switching gears. This is a new judge to me that I was watching, and we got a really bad guy right off the bat here. If anybody's triggered, you might want to jump off now.
Your name, sir?
Kevin Russell.
I'm running just a little bit behind, so hang on. All right, Mr. Russell, you're here on a couple of cases today. We'll start off with 2023 CR 29, State of Kansas versus Kevin Russell. You're appearing from the Ellis County Jail into the Ellis County District Court for a first appearance today. You're charged in count 1 with aggravated indecent liberties with a child, a level 3 person felony. If you're convicted of this charge, you would face lifetime offender registration.
Should.
Also face a minimum 55 months, maximum 247 months imprisonment. That is all presumptive imprisonment. And you'd face a maximum fine up to $300,000. Count 2, criminal sodomy, a severity level 3 person felony. Again, if convicted of this charge, you'd face lifetime offender registration, minimum 55 months, maximum 247 months imprisonment. That is all presumptive imprisonment, maximum fine up to $300,000. Count 3, aggravated battery, a level 7 person felony. If convicted of this charge, minimum 11, maximum 34 months imprisonment. The low end of that is presumptive probation, maximum fine up to $100,000. Excuse me. About to lose my voice. You have a right to an attorney in this matter. You have a right to a trial. Ms. Cheryl Stewart has been appointed to represent you. Have you had any contact with Ms. Stewart?
Yes, I have, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Rutherford, I think to expedite this, I will set this for a prelim.
Well, Your Honor, I believe that there's another case that's either recently filed or is going to be filed.
Yeah, I have it with me right here.
Okay,
I'm going to do it next.
I think there's a third one, Your Honor.
Has the third one been filed? Do you know? It
I
has.
don't know the status on it. I believe it, if it hasn't been filed, it will be filed probably by the end of the day.
Emily's shaking her head, yes, that it has been filed, so.
I'll look and see if there's something scheduled in that
All
one.
right. Then in 2023 CR 30, it's also State of Kansas versus Kevin Russell. Again, Mr. Russell, you're here on a Zoom link from the Ellis County Detention Center into the District Court of Ellis County, Kansas. You're charged in count 1 with indecent liberties with a child, a level 5 person felony. If you were convicted of this charge, you'd face registration, offender registration for 25 years. Could also face a minimum 31 months, maximum 136 months imprisonment. The low end of that is a border box, meaning you could be sent to prison or placed on corrections depending on factors at sentencing. Maximum fine up to.
I said this was a bad guy. These charges are all alleged, like all of them. If he did the things they're saying, he's a really bad guy, but he isn't convicted yet.
To $100,000. Excuse me, $300,000. Count 2, indecent liberties with a child. A level 5 person felony. If convicted of this charge, you would face offender registration for 25 years. Also face minimum 31, maximum 136 months imprisonment. The low end of that is a border box, meaning you could be placed on corrections or sent to prison depending on factors at sentencing. You understand what you have been charged with in that matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, Cheryl Stewart has been appointed to represent you in this matter. I'm going to set these both for preliminary hearing.
Okay, Judge, sorry, I went back to the first case and it's scheduled for a status conference on January 31st at 10.
Okay. Well, I guess if it's scheduled for a status, I just will schedule these for a status. So your next hearing will be at 10 o'clock on January 31st. So on both of these matters, get in contact with Ms. Stewart, maintain contact with Ms. Stewart. And we will see you again on the 31st of January at 10 o'clock.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, you're excused.
Some awful charges there. This guy's alleged to have done. That's rough. I really feel for the child if this happened. That's pretty awful. We'll watch the rest of this call and see how it goes. But that's the case I wanted y'all to see.
Your name?
Braden Showmaker.
Mr. Showmaker, you're here today on a probable cause affidavit. From this affidavit, it looks like you could be charged with stalking and unlawful request for emergency service assistance. I'm here today to set your bond. Mr. Rutherford.
Your Honor, it appears that these are two Class A misdemeanors. The affidavit alludes most likely to some mental health issues with Mr. Shoemaker. That being said, the state's can request a $2,000 bond. Also that he get a mental health evaluation before release, and that if he is released, that he be monitored by court services to ensure that he is complying with the recommendations of the mental health evaluation.
Mr. Showmaker, you've heard the request for bond. Without discussing your case, anything you would like to say about the amount of bond requested?
No, sir.
Okay. Your bond is set at $2,000 that can be posted by cash or commercial surety. You must get a mental health evaluation before you can post that bond or before you can be released. Appear in court on March 21st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. No contact with AIM. That means personal mail through a friend, texting, tweeting, whatever you can do by electronic means. None of that is allowed. Maintain contact with your attorney. No possession or consumption of alcohol or illicit drugs, no violation of any laws. You have any questions, Mr. Showmaker?
No, sir.
I guess I better touch on this. Ms. Greenwood, if he qualifies for supervision after his mental health evaluation, is he eligible for supervision with you?
Mr. Schumacher, do you live here in Hayes?
I live in Manhattan.
He would have to report weekly back to Hayes would be the only concern since he's not local. Once it's a filed case, I would be able to request courtesy supervision. Not all court services take bonds, so I'd have to call and find out.
I won't make that part of the deal. He'll have to post his bond and then all the other conditions remain in full force and effect. That's all I have for you, Mr. Showmaker. Thank you.
James, was that a misdemeanor?
Yeah, it's gonna be 2 Class A's.
Okay.
Who do I have?
McCann.
Kevin McCant?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. McCant, you're here today on a probable cause affidavit. From this affidavit, looks like you could be charged with possession of methamphetamine, possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm here today to set your bond. Mr. Rutherford.
Your Honor, it looks like the primary offense will be possession of methamphetamine, which is a level 5 drug felony. The state's can request the standard bond of $5,000, cash or commercial surety. Additionally, it should be noted that Mr. McCant is on probation with court services. I believe a motion to revoke has been filed, so he will have a hold.
An affidavit was filed, and I believe I thought a warrant was active in our case.
Oh, that could
If
be
not,
true.
okay.
I think there might be a warrant. He just hasn't been served with it yet.
Okay. Mr. McCant, your bond is set at $5,000. That can be posted by cash or commercial surety. But until your violation is taken up with the court, you will not be allowed to be released from jail. You understand that? You understand that, Mr. McCant?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I have for you today. Thank you. Mr. Rutherford, the charge by date's January 26th.
This is the last one, I think. Defendant there reminds me of y'all remember that Superman movie where I think it was the second one where the people came from Krypton had been locked up in that mirror universe. The way his shirt's all cut down in the middle, he reminds me of the lead bad guy. I don't know, could just be me.
Your name?
Kenneth Starnes.
Mr. Starnes, you're here today on an arrest detained from court services. They're alleging that you attempted to alter a UA and then that you admitted to using alcohol and marijuana on January 13th. You have a right to an attorney, Mr. Starnes. Do you have an attorney?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Did you have an attorney in this matter?
Yeah, Bradley Steen, but I think he's off this since I got probation out of it.
Yeah, you would have to fill out a new application if you wish to be represented by counsel.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mr. Steen will be I assume this is a felony case.
I think it's a
No.
misdemeanor now.
Yeah.
No, it's a misdemeanor case. So Mr. Steen won't get appointed, but
Yeah.
fill out your paperwork for a misdemeanor attorney and we'll get somebody appointed to represent you and get this scheduled for a hearing.
Okay.
Any questions?
I'm waiting for outpatient treatment. So will my lawyer tell me about that then once I file for the lawyer, or?
Yeah, if you've got a treatment plan, your lawyer will visit with you about that.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's it. I was glad to get a little bit of closure out of that first case. What was going to happen with mom and the dad and everything. I have to wonder what's going to happen down the road if she's going to come back and try to get custody again, you know. And she does. Hopefully that guy's completely out of her life. You can't have that around kids. You just can't. It's disappointing how many of these cases involve drugs and how many people violate their probation or parole by using again or being caught with the drugs. It's scary. Well, that's what I had time for this morning. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I hope to talk to y'all again soon. Y'all have a good one.